I'm Meg Donnell. I started the Sanfilippo Children's Foundation about 5.5 years ago when Isla and Jude, my children, were diagnosed with the condition Sanfilippo Syndrome.
I have a son who is 12 years old. He was diagnosed when he was 8 years old. It's an ultra rare disease. We're sort of told, go home, look after your child, there's nothing that can be done. As a mother, you're not going to just sit there and take that. When I first got in touch with the foundation, I knew that one of the main goals was to raise funds towards research. I started getting involved in whatever was possible to get involved in. It just gave me a positive outlook. I was doing something or everything within my ability to help my child.
So I was not quite sure how to help, like a lot of people, felt pretty helpless, and what do you do to help your mates going through turmoil? For me, the fundraising is a key enabler for the foundation to continue to pursue all the medical research and hopefully find cures for the kids. So that's really at the heart of it. And so every bit that people like me and people connected with the foundation can do around fundraising, it just helps the foundation and the kids because they're not concentrating on that, they're actually concentrating on working through the cure. So do something that makes you feel good and hopefully can raise some money at the same time because people can see the reason why you're doing it.
Fundraising is really important for us to achieve our mission. Our mission to fund research into finding a cure for Sanfilippo for kids who suffer from it today and those who are born with it tomorrow. The funds we generate from events like the Super Series and other sources are really important for us to then be able to fund the research that is making breakthroughs into treatment for Sanfilippo.
Our key goal originally was to bring a clinical trial into Australia to support the progress of medical treatment in this space, but also to enable us to give children in Australia an opportunity to benefit from some treatment.
We quickly identified that there was an emerging program in the US that was looking at going eventually into clinical trial with children with Sanfilippo syndrome.
The clinical trial was everything that we were working towards, because at the time that was the greatest hope, and yet it seemed like it was so far away and so unachievable in this country. And to have that delivered on Australian shores for Australian children was, I don't know that there's even a word. This small little foundation was achieving enormous things in such a short period of time.
In 2017, Research Australia, the peak body for research here in our country, recognised the Sanfilippo Children's Foundation as the Advocates for the Year. We received an Advocacy Award. We're a very new, young organisation, but we're also representing a rare disease. And so for both of those reasons, it was really tremendous that we were recognised.
The thing that really amazes me about the foundation is the people behind it and what they've been able to achieve. If you map the progress of the field, the success maps to the progress of the underlying technology, and the technology is the product of the research. Conditions that are individually rare are collectively common. So there's a lot of people with genetic conditions that could benefit from these types of technologies and therapies. The level of excitement in the field at the moment, which is well justified, is greater than I've ever seen it.
What we want to do going forward is create a roadmap of where the gaps in knowledge are and where the roadblocks to getting treatments to the children are, and have a really tight strategic direction for our research funding.
If you look at what's been achieved in the first 5 years of the foundation, you really have to believe that in the next 5 years, there is a really great contribution for us to make in breakthrough research, in finding a cure for Sanfilippo, and in providing information and support for families who have children who are suffering from this condition. All the funds we raise go direct to funding research. And that really just hastens our impact.
If everybody does as much as they can, we'll push science forward.
I'm just a mother who's fighting for their child. I think if any mother or family member were in the same position, they would do the same thing. They would want to see their child thrive. I would never have stepped out of my comfort zone to fundraise if it weren't for the foundation. We just need to keep fighting and getting the money so we can get more research in place and hopefully find that treatment that's going to stop it in its tracks, so that no child has to suffer it and no parent has to have a child that's born with it and tell them and be told that there's no hope.